Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Teacher Talk. Today on the podcast, we have Chinmay Joshi, Kshitij Valawal, and me, myself, Lakshoza. Joining us today is someone very special and has been a favorite of all Cooperites. She has inspired us, she has entertained us, and I ended up a ton, even being clueless in her class.
She is also known as the Lady Rajnikant of Manichi Cooper.
Go.
It's none other than Mrs. Geetika Wadhwa. Please welcome her.
Hi. Hello. Hi. Hey, why did you refer to me as Lady Rajnikant, yeah? I
Ma'am,
could
you
never
are,
get my
you have
classes right like that.
no, but
Oh,
the
it's
fan
okay.
following which you have, the fan following which you have, of course.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
King
Seriously?
Rajnikant.
Okay, anyway, you really flattered me, no end. In fact, Rajnikant is my favorite actor. I am madly in love with that guy.
That's exactly the reason why.
Oh, great, great, wonderful. Okay.
So we don't know a lot about our teachers and how they were in school, and that's the reason why we wanted to talk to you about this. So my first question is, where did you do your schooling from, and what were your favorite subjects back at school?
Okay. My father had a transferable job. So every 3 years, we were being transferred from one place to another. So I have not done my schooling from any one particular place. I have been all over the country, starting from Chandigarh, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Bhopal, Kolkata. I have studied all over the country. And a favorite subject. I like all subjects. I think it's easier for me to answer subjects that I didn't like. Can I do that?
Yeah, yeah,
Of
sure.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
Maths,
sure.
maths, maths, physics, and chemistry. These are three subjects I could never understand. I mean, what is the kind of role that they're going to play in my life? I really don't
What
understand.
is
Yeah,
this?
physics,
Maths,
chemistry.
I think maths everyone hates. Even I hate maths.
Chalo, good. It's so nice, yeah, to hear that. So, I mean, otherwise, I liked all the subjects. I mean, I could study anything, but I could never manage these three subjects, you know.
Back in your days, man, what kind of a student were you? Like you were a front bencher or a back bencher? And what is the difference between the students of this age and the students back in your time?
Okay. Uh, I was never a front bencher because I was not allowed to sit in front as I was very tall. Okay. Every
That,
time I tried to impress my teachers by trying to sit in the front, they would push me at the back. And I don't know, I always felt I was a very good student, yaar. Teachers कोई समझ में नहीं आती थी.
yeah,
I
true,
mean,
true.
I
See,
was such
Very
a
true.
wonderful child. I was such a wonderful child. Can you imagine in the English period, I would go out of the way to help my English teacher to do things that had to be done outside the class, right? I was
mhm.
ready to help maths, so I was ever ready to miss class and go. Maths, physics, chemistry, I was ever ready to miss it and go. And I was always ready to help my teachers, but they kind of never appreciated it. I found it very neat. And you know what hurt me the most was they never said anything on my face, but for every open house, they would complain to my mom that 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 your daughter refuses to sit in our class. I mean, and every time my mom said, "ठीक है, आप उसको आगे बिठाओ," let's see how she doesn't sit in the class. But and I myself took the initiative sitting in the front, but they would push me back again. I mean, and till
So, ma'am,
today,
you
I
were
don't.
disturbing the front benchers or what?
No, I was not disturbing them. They got disturbed on their own because I was so tall they couldn't see the board. So, so every time they pushed me at the back, I was more than glad, and I did everything that you guys did do: open the dabba and eat, write and
Oh,
talk
wow.
in the
Oh,
notebook,
Of
and
course.
So it
and
happened that time also.
oh
Passing
yeah,
chits.
yeah, yeah. Passing chits, yes, yes, of course, passing chits. And once I threw a chit to somebody in the front, and it landed up on the teacher's desk.
oh.
And I was actually like, अरे यार मर गए अब ये बुढ़ी कितना खाएगी यार. And I mean, there really wasn't much of a difference between children of our time and today. See, all said and done, children are children.
Of
You
course,
know,
of course.
Yeah.
they are not going to change. They are just not going to change. So I mean, it's. I was like all of you. It's
But
just
ma'am,
that, yeah.
there is a generation gap now. So don't you think
See,
that has
no, Laksh,
widened
there is. I'll
the
tell
period?
you, there is a generation gap between the parent and the child, but there is never really a generation gap between the children. You know,
Mhm.
Oh,
children are children. They all of them think alike. You know, like you love to stand out of class all the time and pass your time. I love to do it too. You know, I mean, children are children.
Shots
They.
fired.
Oh, oh.
ma'am,
So
my character was not that bad.
no, no. I'm not saying it was bad. I never said it was bad. I mean, it's just that I'm just, citing an instance. Like even Chinnu, he loved to talk. He loved to do all sorts of things in the bus, you know. And yeah, and in fact, poor fellow, yeah, he had a sister in the same school. That
Same,
poor girl was, I mean, he
same
was
No,
poet,
but
always
Same
comparing.
here.
same poet, yeah.
do you do you remember the time I slept off and my sister ran behind the bus?
Oh yeah, and
I saw
and
that.
and and we very conveniently forgot that you were sleeping at the back. But you have done a lot of things, Chinmay, that a lot of people would not want to forget, or I don't think they can forget.
So, ma'am, like how Manikji focuses both on extracurricular as well as academics. So, ma'am, what were you interested in, like in extracurricular activities?
Uh, See, you may not believe it, huh? Okay, I was never always so well built like this. Okay,
Oh,
True,
oh,
true.
okay,
Okay,
oh.
okay.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So
It's
Ma'am
a
I,
no
had
doubt.
zero filter back then.
so I was yes, I was tall, but I was never so well built. But I
Mhm.
was very fond of playing basketball. I was in the school teams, basketball, throwball, volleyball, badminton. Plus,
Wow.
Oh,
I love dramatics. In fact, whichever school I went to when my father was transferred, I was one of the children who was ever ready to go and perform the nataks. So, in fact, one of
Nice.
my teacher had named me, call that natak company here, and I would love to, take up all the responsibility and try and do things to make the plays successful for the only reason, not because I loved acting, but because it helped me stay away from my classes.
Mm,
So I quite
nice.
Mhm.
enjoyed it. I was
Sly, very
very
sly.
good.
Very
Very,
sly.
very.
good use of
And
zero period.
no, we never used to have zero periods during our time, I mean, in fact, they used to ask us to stay back after school. We didn't mind staying back after school, and we didn't mind missing our classes either.
Mhm.
It was, and every time we were questioned, we always said, "अरे यार, school में play में काम कर रहे हैं हम. It's not a joke. It's just not a joke." You know. So, I mean, I quite enjoyed school life, not because of my academics, but more because of all these sports and extracurricular activities and everything.
Ma'am, after your 10th standard, ma'am, what stream did you take? Matlab, apart from comedy, we know that you're a really funny person. So, apart from comedy, what else did you like to pursue after 10th? And what did you
Uh,
take?
okay, science was a complete no-no, right? Physics,
Of
chemistry,
course.
no.
We got that.
Math, no. Yeah. So I took up the art stream, that was English, history, geography, economics, right? But I was really not very interested in studying. I wanted to get into journalism, but my father, he said, "Nahin." At that time, we were in Bhopal, so I had to go
Mhm.
to Delhi to study journalism. But he said, "नहीं, लड़कियों को घर से बाहर नहीं भेजते." And
Mhm.
I thought, my God, my dad is so concerned for me. He loves me so much, he doesn't want me to go. Until one day, my brother told me, "Oye, it's not because लड़कियों को बाहर नहीं भेजते, he doesn't trust you." So, so I was kind of forced to do my BA. I graduated uh, doing my arts, and then after that, they made me do my B.Ed. वो भी जबरदस्ती. Again because my father said
Mhm.
नहीं, तो सबसे ज्यादा अच्छा प्रोफेशन है, गर्ल्स के लिए सबसे अच्छा प्रोफेशन है. So they kind of forced me into that also. Not that I regret
Mhm.
it today, but at that point of time, yeah, who wants to study a college? Who goes to study? No, yeah, college is supposed to be fun. No, then finally, because I wanted to do journalism, so I
Oh,
took up a correspondence course and I did it. And my father let
Oh
me do
wow.
it. He said, जब तक आप घर पे बैठ के कर रहे हो ना, आप करो, आपको मैं बाहर नहीं भेजूंगा. You know, so I also did pursue my journalism as well.
That's nice.
Wow. Yeah.
but never thought of taking up a career in journalism.
Journalism. Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, I didn't get a chance, you know. Once I got into teaching and then I got married, then I had kids, and then, you know, a lot of your things take a back seat.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wanted to bring up my children the way I want to.
Mhm.
And you know, and that was the time when I felt, chalo, okay, that was the time I also thanked my parents. Ki chalo jabardasti, you know, my dad made me do B.Ed. Now I go to school together and I come back with them
Mhm.
and they're with me and I can give them my time and things like that. So I really didn't want to get into it. Yes, initially I did. I used to write a lot of articles for different newspapers and things like that, but then gradually that also died away because, like Lux said, responsibility. You
Mhm.
know, there's so much of responsibility on your shoulders that or a lot of
Yeah.
things take a back seat.
Yeah.
So maybe when I grow older,
Yeah.
then I
You still
might,
have time.
yeah, yeah,
You
a
have a
lot of
lot
it,
of time.
You're
lot
just
Lot
of
of
15,
time.
time.
man.
Yeah,
Just
of course.
15.
Still teenager. Still teenager. बहुत time.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, ma'am, like you mentioned, you played basketball, you played badminton also. So, did you have any other hobbies outside of school? And you can't say foodie because we already know that you are a foodie.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, there have always been a lot of tragedies in my life. As in, you know, I have friends who are so good at embroidery. They have pursued embroidery as their passion and their hobby. They've done knitting as their hobby. They used to play the guitar as their hobby. And I would always get so excited seeing them. Okay, so I mean, I have tried everything. When I tried embroidery and I did something, I would go and learn from my friends who were so good at their work. And when I came back home, my mom had to undo everything because she really couldn't understand why I try to do things that I'm not made for. Right? Same thing happened with knitting. And the worst was when I thought, you know, कि नहीं अब तो मैं गिटार बजा के I'm going to become one hell of a rock star. देखना मैं क्या अच्छे अच्छे गाने गाऊंगा. I told my mom, huh? She tried to dissuade me from going for those classes. She said, क्यों बेटा गिटार पे इतना पैसा खर्च करते हो, you know you're
Yeah.
not cut out for it. Then I was very upset. I said, नहीं यार आप मेरे को discourage कर रहे हो, उभरता हुआ कलाकार आप उसको discourage कर रहे हो. So my mom finally said, she said, "अच्छा ठीक है, don't sulk. Okay, we'll buy you a guitar." I went and attended those guitar classes for nearly a year, right? All my
Oh,
fingertips, they begin to chip
Yeah.
off and they become hard and
Yep.
it's very painful.
Mhm.
I used to play
Mhm.
the guitar and I used to sing. And my guitar teacher, the crook that she was, every time I went to play in front of her, she said, "Very good, Geetika. You're amazing. Very good." And the only one thing she used to tell me was, before you come here, you must play and sing at home, whatever I have taught you, and your parents must know what all you're learning. So the only captive I could get within my reach was my mom, right? And I would catch hold of her and say, "Ma, suno pehle, main kya aaj wahan pe gaungi." My mother would sit with a straight face. "Hmm, बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा," right? Finally, after about 20 days, she tells me, she says, "एक बात बोलूं?" I said, "Yeah, mom." So she says, "कुछ भी कर यार, तू गाना मत गाया कर." So that only hope of persuading music as a hobby also went down the drain. So that was the day I decided, "नहीं यार, hobbies are not meant for people like me." I'm much above any one
Yeah, true,
particular
true.
hobby. So
Yeah,
let me
I'm
just
better.
try my hands at everything. जो हो गया सो ठीक है, जो नहीं हुआ सो नहीं, you
Yes.
know.
You
But I
should
love
always learn
reading.
new skills.
New skills,
Yes,
yeah.
always, yes. But it's very sad. People don't appreciate that. They look down upon you and say, "ये भी नहीं कर सकती, ये भी नहीं कर सकते." It's very sad. I mean, you can't just
Okay.
change the attitude and the mentality of the other people.
Yeah.
Looking down upon you कि ये भी नहीं एम्ब्रॉयडरी नहीं कर सकती है, अरे तो क्या हुआ नहीं कर सकती यार, कोशिश तो करी थी, तुम्हारे को ही नहीं समझ में आई मेरी एम्ब्रॉयडरी.
कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती.
Very true, very very true. But nobody let me take a second chance at it. Mm, yeah.
So, ma'am, did you always wanted to be a teacher, or there was some other profession like journalism? Though you've already said. And who was your inspiration, like
Um, I,
your
I
journey?
never wanted to be a teacher, never. Like I told you, my father forced me into it, and he gave me such rosy pictures. He said, सबसे अच्छा जॉब होता है टीचर का, कुछ नहीं करना होता, वहाँ बच्चों को डांटो, कुछ भी पढ़ा दो स्कूल में और वापस आ जाओ, कुछ नहीं करना होता. एंड ही टोल्ड मी, he says, पता है साल में 4 महीने की छुट्टियां मिलती हैं, तेरी तो मौज हो गई, तू बीएड कर ले. आई सेड ओके चलो कर लो. It was only after I got into it that I realized, excuse me, there's no moj here. Okay, you just have to slog. Things are different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And as far as okay, I enjoy my job now after so many years. I enjoy my job now, uh, and as far as inspiration is concerned, for me personally, it's the children who inspired me, not my own children, the children I interacted with at various levels in school who
Thank
inspired
you.
me
Thank you.
to pursue this as a profession. Yeah, it's thanks to you as well. It's thanks to you as well. I mean, every time I interacted with the children, I kind of felt, oh my God, there's something nice about them. Maybe, you can spend some more time with you more than something else. They make you feel good. They make you feel good. They are the only ones, the smaller ones, who make you feel wanted as well. So that's when, I said, chalo, let's take this ahead. Otherwise, I never wanted to get into teaching, never. I think I was not cut out for teaching. But like I said, the children inspired me, so I moved ahead with it, and now I quite enjoy my job.
So,
That's
ma'am,
good.
as you say that you started enjoying teaching now, but what if at that point you were like, if you chose something else, then what was your idea? Like, what would you want to be at that time? Like, what is your
Uh,
dream job, your dream job?
you're going to laugh at this. There was a point in life when I actually thought I must become a cab driver. Yeah, yeah,
That is a
because
first timer.
okay, no, I have another option as well. I must become a cab driver, and my father asked me why. I said, वह एक कैब ड्राइवर ही है जो सारा दिन सिटी में घूमता रहता है, इधर से उधर,
True
उधर से
Punjabi,
उधर.
ma'am. True
And
Punjabi. You should move to Canada. You should shift to Canada.
and I used to love roaming around, right? And I mean, seeing this teaching profession, there is no roaming around in it, or any other
Yeah.
profession for that matter. Like my dad used to go to office in the morning and come back in the evening. The only profession I could think of was cab driver. सुबह निकलो, घुमा लो पूरी city, घुमा लो. अच्छा, then you have passengers with whom you can talk, and you can talk no end. You can
Yeah.
tell them about the city, you can tell them about the people. I mean, there's so much you can talk to them about. And but when my dad told me, he says, beta, we have a certain reputation to live up to. So he said, think about that. If nothing else, कुछ और सोच लो. अगर teaching नहीं करनी, cab driver नहीं, कुछ और सोच लो. So I told him, फिर आप मेरे को फिर मना कर दोगे. So he said, नहीं, आप सोचो आपको क्या करना है. So I told him, I want to become a gents tailor. And he asked me why. I said, I don't know. I think I like the option. And I really don't know why I wanted to become a gents tailor. But I did that. I did have that on my mind for a very long time. So then my
Mhm.
mom told me, she says, you know what, if you want to become a gents tailor, maybe we'll call you a designer. But आपको पता है उसके लिए you have to study a lot. I said, no way, I'm not
Good,
going to
good trap.
study
Good
now.
trap.
I said, I'm not going to study anymore now, please. Okay, या तो मुझे आप कैब ड्राइवर बना दो या फिर मुझे कुछ नहीं बनना. So my dad got hold of me. He said, चल चुपचाप टीचर बन जा, उसी को परस्यू कर, कोई कैब ड्राइवर नहीं. You know,
Mhm.
so that's how things just work out. Maybe I was destined to be just a teacher. Yeah.
No. An amazing teacher.
An amazing, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so flattered. Thank you so much.
So, ma'am, now managing must have become a family for you, like all the teachers and all the students. So, I remember my first day, it was raining badly. So, how was your first day at school? Did you give an interview? Who took your interview? And how
Okay.
was your first day?
Okay. Manikji was not a new place for me because my daughter had already been studying there for a couple of years
Mhm.
before I decided to work there. But anyway, I did think, okay, I mean, since Karan, my son, was due for admission, I said, Abhi 6 mahine ke baad, he's also going to get admission. So let me start thinking of working. When I went there, I was interviewed by Mrs. Basla. You must have heard her name. She was our principal at that time, way back in 2000. 2001 I started working. So I mean, she had a very simple interview. She didn't ask me anything about my subject. She just asked me why I wanted to work here, and then she said that, remember, I'm not going to give you any leave, irrespective of what. If you're okay with it, you can join us.
Oh,
That was how I got into Manekji Cooper.
oh,
Yes, very hard
that's
sell.
great. That's
Yeah.
great.
And I can say that the interviews in India
Smooth
have never
walk,
changed.
smooth walk.
Sorry.
The interviews in India have never changed. It's always with the tell us about yourselves. Why would you want to work here?
Yeah, true,
It's
true, very
always the
true,
same.
very true, very true. No, she didn't ask me why I wanted to work there. She didn't ask me that. She just, I mean, she was more keen that uh, I need to tell her that I'm not going to take any leave,
Leaves.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's about it. I mean, my interview did not even last me 3 minutes. I went in and
Oh.
I came out, and my husband was waiting down on the platform, and he says, क्या करके आए हो यार ऐसा ना हो कि ये नौकरी ना मिले. I, I said, no, she's told me I can join her. They will be calling me to sign the letter and things like that. And so he asked
Yeah.
me, what was your interview like? And when I told him this is what she asked me, he said, are you sure you went to the principal? I said, yeah, that's all that she asked me, nothing else. That was it. That was it.
No, but you should
How
have
was the
said, no, it's my
how was
personality. I
the
can't help it.
Yeah, impression. First impression.
No,
2 minute
you
mein.
know, no, you won't believe. Mrs. Basla herself was a very impressive personality. She was,
yeah,
you know,
probably all our principals.
Yeah,
yes, yes, there
very
is
true.
no doubt about it. Yes, there is. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And how was your
So,
first day of teaching? Like, were you
Uh,
nervous or were you super excited?
uh, Excitement comes in much later. First day at any organization or institution is filled with nervousness because
Of
you
course.
don't know how people are going to take to you, and everything is so
mhm.
new. So obviously,
Yeah.
I was
Yep.
also very nervous, but I was very lucky that I was accommodated with a lot of seniors who were very helpful and very friendly, and that
Mhm.
included Jessica Miss and Sabia, and then we had a teacher called Mrs. Pushpa Lad. I don't know, you may not have heard of her.
No,
She was there, and
No.
then Rujuta Miss was there, Mrs. Grewal was there. We had
oh yeah.
another teacher
Yes.
called Lalita Naik. They all made you feel very comfortable. So
Yeah.
it was just the first 2 days that you have that initial nervousness and hesitation. But
Mhm.
since they were so open to things, and they said, okay, we are there to guide you, we are there to help you. So it didn't really take me too long to get used to things there or be comfortable.
Mhm. Yeah. So, ma'am, can you tell us something that the students will be surprised to find out about you? But I guess you've answered it.
I've
But is there
answered it,
something
yeah.
else?
Uh, yeah, I can tell you, I've never passed in maths all my life. except the board exam where I managed to get a 35. I said,
Oh my
thank
God.
God, thank
No, but
God.
that time 35 was good, right?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know whether if it was good or not, but I know I passed. When my
Yeah.
10th standard, I'm from a CBSE school, right? So when my
Hmm.
result came out, I had done very well as per those days. I got nearly, I think, about 68 point some percentage, which was a
Wow.
first class. Pehle
Yeah.
zamane mein, I mean, as in
Yeah,
Yeah.
our
yeah,
zamana, getting a
yeah.
first class is very good. And but my mother asked me when I told her, I said, Mom, and our result used to come out in the paper, so in the
Oh
Yes, yes.
wow.
newspaper. Yeah. So when I told her, she said, अच्छा एक काम करो जल्दी से स्कूल जाओ जाके देखो किसी और का रिजल्ट तो नहीं देख लिया मैथ्स में पास हो गए हो आप because I you won't believe it's really amazing. I mean, I'm surprised at my own self. I used to cram up the whole maths textbook,
Mhm.
okay, all the problems, all the formulas, all the answers, right? And when I went for the exam, those people changed the numbers. And I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know what to do. And I think the only 35 marks that I got must be because of geometry. My mom taught me geometry and she said, ये बहुत easy है, आप यही कर लेना, बाकी algebra तो छोड़ो. Till today, I don't know why I have to find out the value of x and y, yaar. How's it my concern? Me, I forget it. So I think the only marks that I got were because of geometry. Baki algebra mein to they must have gone mad trying to figure out what I had done. And that's I think rest there isn't much that is hidden from the children about me.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the same thing I felt when I got 94 in Hindi. I was shocked.
Oh yeah, in
We all.
Hindi.
So, ma'am,
Great.
so what's the silliest thing one of your students has ever asked in class as a doubt?
As a doubt, uh,
Yeah. It can be us also. You can name
Us
names.
also, yeah.
uh, I remember there was one class many years ago, and I was teaching in the class, and I was in that flow. पढ़ाई जाओ आज तो सब खत्म कर दूंगी एक chapter खत्म कर दूंगी and there was this little kid. I think it was the fifth or sixth standard one of these classes, and there was this little kid who kept jumping up in his face, miss. And I mean, initially I was getting very irritated, and then finally after 4 5 times when he said miss, I said, huh, okay, what is your question? I said, now this guy is really desperate. I can't keep ignoring him. So when I asked him, okay, what is your question? He tells me, I want to come there and ask you the question. So I said, Arey, why does he want to come here? You asked the question from there, na? He said, no, I want to come there. So he came to my table and, he touched my curls like this and he tells me, where did you buy these? I said, oh God. That time I was very angry with him,
Oh
very
my
angry. But
God.
today, when I think of it, I mean, oh, poor kid, yeah. I mean, and, I mean, I obviously I didn't scold him. I don't really scold my children much until and unless I really lose it. But
Hmm.
I didn't scold him. But I said, I mean, I came and thought it over. Out of all the things, he was so curious to know where I buy these, and he pulled my hair like this. He said, where do you buy these? It's
So,
not silly. Maybe it's cute,
Ma'am,
yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have asked him, are you in the right place?
Yeah. What do you ask a small kid? A fifth, sixth standard kid.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't, I don't think he would have been able to answer that also. So it's okay. It's okay. We are
Yeah.
used to a
Yeah.
lot of
True.
such things, a lot of such
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
ma'am, who's other, matlab, apart from you, which other teacher's class would you like to attend and why?
Jessica, miss.
Why?
Anytime. She is so patient with children. She
She
takes her
Yeah.
time to understand, I mean, make children understand things. And apart from just teaching, she kind of gives you so much more other information that you can benefit out of.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
since I share the subject with her, so I'm
Yes.
always open to her learning. I mean, I think I've been teaching geography for the last in this school in standard 9 to 10 for the last maybe 10 or 12 years. But even
Mhm.
today, when it comes to classes and she's taking a class, I always go and sit in it. I mean, I quite enjoy it because I feel,
Mhm.
I mean, there's so much learning to do. There's so much learning to do.
Yeah. So, ma'am, like you mentioned about that one silly incident or a cute incident. So, is there any like something that is frustrating about being a teacher? Like, are you like today something that
Yeah,
frustrates you? Like,
yeah, corrections, corrections, and corrections. I mean, we start correcting papers in the month of November, and we are correcting them till April end.
So, ma'am, what's the goofiest thing that's happened to you, during your school time, at least in Maningji?
Uh,
or when you were a student yourself?
yeah, I remember once there was this guy in class, and a teacher was teaching. His mother used to make lovely uh, chow mein, and she used to make lovely Szechuan sauce as well.
Mhm.
And this guy was sitting on the first desk, and he opened his dabba with the chow mein in it, and everybody was passing the dabba and eating. And there was the teacher was also teaching, and maybe I don't know how she must have overlooked. There are times, when we also tend to overlook a lot of things. And after that teacher left the class and I came into the class, I saw this guy, one piece of noodle hanging from here. So I asked him, I said, "What is this?" So the other guy said he was eating in her period also, but she didn't see him eat, but she could smell that somebody was eating noodles in the class, you know. And so I think this was one funny incident. Like I said, there are so many of them,
Yeah.
and they happen so often. It's difficult to
Yep.
remember all of them.
Yeah. We used to eat in between when the teachers used to change.
Yeah.
Listen,
There was
you
this
don't
five
give me
minute
that.
time.
You don't give me that. You guys used to eat even when the teacher was teaching. Pick up your
Yeah.
desk like this and put your head down and
Yes.
Oh
eat.
my God.
You know
She
that.
knows it.
Yeah,
Of
of
course.
course we know
Even
it. And
principal, even principal ma'am picked that up, and now she's having a CCTV camera, so I know that the students are having food, but
yeah,
okay, they're
but what
students.
do you do? See, sometimes you scold the child. I mean, like I say, okay, you want to eat, you go outside the class and eat. But if you're going
Yeah,
to give
I
everybody permission, all the 40 children will walk out of class
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everybody wants to
Yeah.
eat all the time. You yourself know in the short break and lunch break, you guys don't eat, right?
Yeah.
You only want
Yeah.
to you only want to play and go up and down and do whatever it is. So when are you going to eat? During class hours.
of
By the
Yeah.
course.
time it is short break and lunch break, you have finished your khana, right? And just in case if somebody has managed to save something for the break, I mean, in the period after the break, you have already stolen his dabba and you are eating out of it,
Very right.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
true.
right?
yeah.
Right? Yeah, we know of
So
all this.
true.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, ma'am, you have been someone who's been more of a friend to us than a teacher. So, do you have any like was it your intention to always be like that? And is there a like you better connect with students because of that, or what are your thoughts?
Chinu, I am more of a friend to my students because I have learned this from my own children at home. I
Mhm.
remember, my daughter, once she told me, she says, "Mom, if you want your children actually to learn, you have to come down to their mental level. You have to
Mhm.
understand them." And she told me, she says, like you try to understand what we are saying, you have to try and understand what they are also saying. If you think
Mhm.
that they are going to rise up to your level, if a 15-year-old child is going to behave the age of a 40-year-old person, it is not possible. You have to go down to their level. You have to understand what they like and what they don't like and things like that, you know.
True.
And I think I just adopted that, and like I grew with my own children. I
Mhm.
prefer to grow with all of you as well.
Yeah.
I remember
Mhm.
there were times when all these EPL matches used to happen, and my kids used to sit and watch the matches past midnight, 2:30, 3:30, and next morning everybody would go and discuss. Okay,
Yeah.
Falana, what was that? Ronaldo made so many
Yeah.
goals, and Messi made so many goals, and I mean, I had to sit and watch them, and I had to take feedback from my children because the minute I would walk into class the next morning, these boys would ask me, "Did you see the match last night?" You know, and I couldn't say no. So, and even before they could tell me what it was, I would take all the crux of the match from my
Yeah.
children
I,
and
Yeah.
just blur
Good.
it out
Good.
to them. So, so they, I mean, it was
well
like they
prepared.
knew, yeah, well prepared,
Yeah.
and they knew she's seen the match. Now, we can't disturb her. So that was the first thing that used to happen when I used to go to class. So, when you grow up with your own children, I'm sure it happens with all of you at home also. I mean, when your parents grow up with you, they understand you,
Mhm.
then things are so much better.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I think that's how I mean, I decided to move along with all of you. And
Mhm.
I also felt with the changing times, specifically in a place like Mumbai, there are very few parents who have time to talk to their children, you
Yeah.
know.
True.
And so, I mean, there were children who wanted to talk to you. They wanted somebody to
Mhm.
listen to them. So I said, okay, I mean, they sit and listen to what I'm saying all the time in class. I'm sure I can give them 5 minutes or 10 minutes out of the 45 minutes and listen to what they have to say. And there is
Mhm.
nothing wrong in it. There is
Yeah.
nothing wrong in it. So that's how I think we are more of friends. Yeah.
So, ma'am, now we are going to move into the rapid fire section of this
Okay.
video. And, ma'am, it has to be fast. And whatever you think first, the first word which comes to your mind, you have to blurt it
Okay.
out. Some coffee
Okay.
with Karan type answers, huh, ma'am?
Okay. Where is my hamper? I need to have a hamper.
That is
Post
post
lockdown.
lockdown.
Post
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 lockdown,
lockdown.
lockdown. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
but there's
Yeah.
nobody to compete with you, man.
Yeah.
So
अरे वाह 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 वाह. I'm sure you must be saying that to every teacher. You must have said it to every teacher who you have interviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
So, ma'am, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So, ma'am, what's your spirit animal?
Butterfly,
Who is your room buddy during school trips?
Sabya and Jessica, miss.
Who gets the tastiest lunch in the staff room?
Jessica, miss. Always. When she used to
What?
sit with us. You know? Yeah.
What's your favorite spot in school?
Any place where I can stand and talk with Sabya. It can be our favorite spot. Any place where the two of us can stand and just gossip and beep 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 beep. Okay. Yeah. Mm.
So, ma'am, what is your favorite canteen food item?
Samosa, like everybody else.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
So, ma'am, if there was a samosa eating competition, how many could
Mm.
you eat, and who would be your competition?
Okay. First of all, if there was a samosa eating competition, it wouldn't be me participating alone. I would enter as a participant with Sabia because there's an unsaid pact between the two of us. She eats up the crust because she doesn't like the aloo. She eats up
Oh.
practically three-fourths of the crust and she leaves the aloo for me and she says, "तेरे को पता है ना मैं नहीं खाती हूँ aloo." So if that competition was to happen, it would happen with both
Yeah.
of us there. And then I think we could both eat 10, 15, maybe 20 samosas like that.
True. True. Very true. Yeah. The crust used to be really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And Sabia eats the crust and then, I mean, she breaks the crust and she dips the crust in my coffee. And I keep giving her that look, kya kar rahi hai?
coffee.
And you don't know. She breaks the crust and she dips it in my coffee, not in her own, intentionally to annoy me. And then,
Oh
and
my
I always give her that look, Sabia, ऐसे मत कर यार तू, you know. But, but then she says, and she'll eat it. That's how we eat
You
samosas.
should dip the aloo. You should dip the
Aloo.
aloo.
Hey, please, yeah. Listen, I hope you never give this suggestion to Sabya, because then she'll put the aloo straight into my coffee, knowing her.
Okay. So, ma'am, to the next question. Shakespeare play, story, poem, character that stuck with you.
None. None.
Okay. Book recommendations for your students.
Only romance. Nothing but romance.
Oh. Okay, ma'am. So this is another segment. So first thing that comes to your mind when we mention the names. Okay. So
Okay.
Sabya, ma'am.
Partner in crime all the time.
Ma'am, Tulika, ma'am.
A stickler to principles. She just doesn't move from her principles, not at all.
That's good.
Oh. Miss Poonam Chaudhary.
Strict.
Mrs. Persis Wadia.
Mother of 3 boys.
Tough to manage.
Yeah.
Especially 3 boys.
Yeah. I mean, we find it difficult managing one. Imagine 3 boys.
And ma'am, last, Mrs. Jessica Darwala.
Friend, philosopher, and guide.
This is the new segment which we've come with. Associate these tags to the teachers in that staff room. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Foodie. Who do you think is a foodie?
I'll tell you. Rujita miss, Sabya miss, me you have already classified.
Yes.
Tulika miss.
Yes.
Okay, Tulika miss, Shivani miss, and Hina miss. All of us on our table are very fond of food. Very fond of it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a gang. It's a gang.
Yeah, it's a gang.
Foodie gang.
Foodie.
Foodie gang, yeah.
Who's a storyteller?
Mrs. Kadam, she can go back to stories of 1942. She has so many stories.
Who listens to the best music?
Our principal, she listens to a lot of music. She sings very well. Principal ma'am. It's very good.
Something you were told not to do.
Yeah, I know. So mean, I have friends who call me Aurangzeb. You know why? Because
Because he
Aurangzeb,
hated music.
yeah, and it's
My
because
dad calls my mom.
No, in my case, I don't hate music. I just don't understand it ever since I've been told don't sing. Yeah.
But what kind of music are you a fan of? Old school or?
I listen to those songs. What is the Honey Sing songs?
Wow,
Punjabi.
Punjabi.
Yeah.
I never expected that. I thought you used to like Kishore Kumar.
Hey,
Rafi
Excuse me. No, I don't understand the songs, yeah. I don't understand.
This
And
stereotyping, this is stereotyping. This is not fair.
Seriously. And
Stereotyping.
you know what? And abhi wo latest jo Baba Sehgal ke during lockdown, he makes those stupid songs. Oh, I
Kela
love
khao.
listening. Kela khao, yeah. Something like that. Because see, like I told you, I mean, my children expose me to a lot of things, So my daughter listens to them. So
Social
whenever
media.
she listens to them, she tells me, "Ajo suno, ye bahut interesting hai." So, we listen to all these kind of songs.
Nice.
Who's the wittiest, ma'am?
Obviously me. None other than me.
Very true.
Yeah.
Save the next one for yourself, ma'am. Who's the funniest?
Hey, no, there are lots of funny people in our school. There are lots of funny people in our school. No names to be taken. Okay.
Who's the fashionista?
Mrs. Chaudhary.
Yeah.
She moves with the times. She moves with the times. She's very good.
Who's the influencer?
There are lots of people who you can get influenced by, starting with ma'am, tremendous patience, tremendous patience. Okay, Jessica Miss, all of us know, right? Then,
Yep.
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and then we have Rujita Miss. She has some very good qualities that you could be influenced by. So, it wouldn't be right for me to just take the name of any one teacher because
Mhm.
there are lots of them, many of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Workaholic.
Only one and only one, Mrs. Jessica Daruwala. I mean, I think she works in her sleep also. Sometimes we make fun of her and say that in your sleep also you must be writing something on your laptop. We make fun of her. She's such
She's
a
helped us
workaholic.
with this podcast also so much. You have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yes.
Ma'am. Helped us with
Yeah,
the podcast too. Yeah.
yeah. See, so I'm right in calling her a workaholic.
So, ma'am, before we end the episode, is there anything that you want to say to the students and to the alumni?
Yeah, sure. Uh, we at Manikji Cooper aim at producing good human beings, right?
Mhm.
Yes, we of course want you guys to do well for yourself in life, but if you are not a good human being, then
Yeah.
howsoever much you achieve in life, it's of no use.
Mhm.
Uh, it's a
Right.
pleasure to see all of you guys doing well for yourself. It is a pleasure to see you guys groom up into good individuals. And that is what is most important for us. I hope we continue to do the same thing and
Mhm.
you keep us uh, keep making us proud like you guys always do.
तो मैम शादी हो सकती है ना हमारी?
अरे बिल्कुल बिल्कुल करो करो आओ मैं किसी को मना नहीं करती कि शादी मत करो आओ आओ आप भी ये
Even
लड्डू
with this
खाओ और
dashing
भुगतो
beard.
hello with this beard nobody is going to marry you okay
And he's dating. Dating.
you may be dating that is all okay then remove the beard now at least when you're dating look like a proper human being ये दाढ़ी वाड़ी तो
I
एकदम
shaved, ma'am.
यार
See, that is
seriously
why I shaved today only, ma'am.
yeah you are looking just the same except for your hairstyle. Yeah.
That is because of the lockdown.
Yeah.
But it's looking nice. It's looking nice. It's
Thank you,
trendy.
ma'am.
No.
बोलने में क्या जाता है?
नहीं
No,
सच्ची
no.
में
Okay, okay. I
सच्ची में
like compliments. Okay, everybody gives me compliments.
yeah it's
Are,
just
are you sure?
yeah yes
Yeah,
it's just you guys are just not open to compliments that come to him okay
मिलते ही लड़कों को मिलते कहाँ है मैम?
अरे
वही.
सबको मिलते ऐसा है आप ये जब तक दाढ़ी रखेंगे ना आपको कोई कॉम्प्लीमेंट नहीं मिलेगा तो ये दाढ़ी हटाओ थोड़ा इंसान लगो तो मिलेगा
break the
कॉम्प्लीमेंट
beard. Break the beard.
So yeah. So ma'am, this brings us to the end of a really engrossing, edge of the seat, entertaining episode, and we'd like to thank you for joining us and making this episode a huge success.
Thank you so much for having me
Thank
here.
you, ma'am.
It's
Thank
it's
you.
it's really been a pleasure, and it's nice to see you guys after so long. I
Same
missed
here.
Malika and Shashwat though. I wish Shashwat was also here because
Yeah.
Shashwat and I converse in a very different language, which which which
Andugundu
none of us.
Vinde.
Sorry.
Andugundu Vinde.
Yeah, independent India, which neither of us understand, but we do converse in it.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for having me here. It feels really good to be remembered by our
Mhm.
students, and it's occasions like this that make you feel that you have been able to contribute something towards the upbringing of these children and and
Yep.
and to a teacher it really matters it really
Definitely.
matters even if one child remembers you it makes us one hell of a difference. We're on
There are
cloud
10
nine.
at least now.
Yeah.
Look at
There are
that.
10 people. There are 10
Okay.
people now.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
For sure, 10 people so you have.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hope you enjoyed this episode and do let us know who you would like us to speak to next in the comments below. Stay tuned for exciting content every weekend and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
On the bottom left. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.